Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus went across the Sea of Galilee. A large crowd followed him because they saw the signs he was performing on the sick. Jesus went up on the mountain, and there he sat down with his disciples. The Jewish feast of Passover was near. When Jesus raised his eyes and saw that a large crowd was coming to him, he said to Philip, "Where can we buy enough food for them to eat?" He said this to test him, because he himself knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him, 200 days' wages worth of food would not be enough for each of them to have a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, the brother of Simon Peter, said to him, "There is a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish, but what good are these for so many?" Jesus said, "Have the people recline." Now there was a great deal of grass in that place. So the men reclined, about 5,000 in number. Then Jesus took the loaves and gave thanks, and distributed them to those who were reclining, and also as much of the fish as they wanted. When they had their fill, he said to his disciples, "Gather the fragments left over, so that nothing will be wasted." So they collected them and filled 12 wicker baskets with fragments from the 5 barley loaves that had been more than they could eat. When the people saw the sign he had done, they said, "Truly, this is the prophet, the one who is to come into the world." Since Jesus knew that they were going to come and carry him off to make him king, he withdrew again to the mountain alone. The Gospel of the Lord. One little child makes all the difference. 200 days' wages, the labor of a grown man, not enough. But one little boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish. One little boy and an act of generosity. One little boy offering all he has to Jesus. One little boy with the grace of Jesus Christ. One little boy with the grace of Christ changes everything for 5,000 people. Something that a grown man couldn't do with 200 days' wages, almost a year's salary. We have a tendency to think of our children as special, and indeed they are. All human life is special. From womb to tomb, life is special. And with Jesus Christ and his grace, every child has the potential to affect many, many lives. And so we should cherish life in all its abundance, shouldn't we? And you see what one little boy does here. Jesus was a little boy. His 5 loaves became the 5 wounds of his body. that would be the food of his body, blood, soul, and divinity to feed us in the Eucharist. But he started as a little boy. His 2 fish would become his humanity and his divinity, that it would teach us the truth, how precious all human life is, how sacred, and our eternal destiny. With Jesus, our children are of maximum importance. With Jesus, all of us children of God are important and become change agents in the world. As the Gospel of Matthew would describe, salt and light. Where there's no seasoning, the salt of the earth, and where there's darkness, light. And so we present our littleness to Christ. In fidelity to Jesus, we strive. In fidelity to the Eucharist, Sunday after Sunday, daily if able, we strive to be the agents of change, the little boys and girls, the children of God. Fidelity to gospel values affecting the whole world. Fidelity to the church teaching, which helps us understand the gospel more deeply and live it more deeply. Personal striving for holiness, that to a degree makes us set apart and different, but are not all leaders like that in a sense? Somewhat set apart and someone different, cutting the edge of everything. And so we change the world as the children of God, presenting ourselves to Jesus, offering what little we have, and letting him bless it, break it, and distribute it.
Regina Celi, letare, alleluia, qui